Today, students, we are going to be doing lesson 2.5, Google Docs lesson 2.5. It's entitled Gooey Chocolate Brownies. Sounds yummy, doesn't it? Well, today we're going to be retrieving and copying a document. In the overview, it says, you have been thinking about the peanut butter brownies that you made in a previous lesson, and you have a friend with a peanut allergy, and you decided to change up the recipe to make them more chocolate and no peanut butter. So you will save time by actually just making a copy of that recipe and altering it. So in this lesson, you will open a previous document and then you will make a copy of it and then edit it so it's the new recipe. All right, and the new skills that you're going to see listed there, you're going to be opening an existing document, you're going to make a copy of it, you're going to edit and insert an image. So that is what we're going to be doing on that lesson. So we always kind of start out in this same place, and I'm going to start with the instructions, and it says to open an existing document, and hopefully this is something you have done before, but if not, so walk you through the process. It says to open a previously created document, you'll need to locate the document in your Google Drive. It says click on your Google Drive, and then you are then in your My Docs, open your My Docs folder, and then you will double click to open lesson 2.2 document. So I'm going to go to my drive. Okay, from here, I'm going to go, remember I have the Google Lessons file. That's where I put everything. Yours probably are just loose in your drive. And we're going to look for My Docs. And we're actually going to be using lesson 2.2. So when I open lesson 2.2, this is the one that is called Peanut Butter Brownies. You'll remember that we created this, in a previous lesson, in lesson 2.2. And it says with lesson 2.2 open on your screen, you will go to the File menu up here, File menu. And it's in the top of your screen, and then you will choose Make a Copy. Okay, so this is going to come up, and it says when the copy dialog box pops up on your screen, you will type lesson 2.5 in the name box. So I'm just going to type lesson 2.5. So this is now going to have a new file name, and then click OK. All right, so now I have two copies of that file open. Okay. Have one that's called 2.2 and one that's called 2.5. And then it says a note here. It says this assignment is assuming that you completed lesson 2.2 correctly. If you missed points, and it says to look in Google Classroom, then you will need to make the corrections to lesson 2.2 before you continue on with this assignment. Otherwise, you're going to miss the same points. So, for example, if you look at yours, and you don't have ingredients with these bullets like this and directions with the numbers and the spacing here like this, then guess what? If you make these changes on this lesson and you turn it in, you're going to lose all those points again. So you need to make sure that your document is correct before you begin with this assignment. So I'm on step 3 now. It says to avoid any confusion, you should close lesson 2.2 because you look here, these are exactly the same, but obviously I don't need lesson 2.2 anymore. I'm not making changes to it, so I closed it. And I'm actually going to go ahead and close this as well. So now I just have lesson 2.5 open. And now it says in step 4, go to the Edit menu and choose the Find and Replace feature that you learned to use in a previous lesson. You will replace peanut butter with the new text chocolate fudge. So I'm going to go to the Edit menu. There's Find and Replace right down at the bottom. And I'm going to type in peanut butter. And I can tell behind me that it is finding occurrences of that. And I'm going to replace it with chocolate fudge. Okay. And I'm going to tell it to replace all. And in just a second. As I move this around, though, notice that there are multiple occurrences of peanut butter that I'm going to be replacing. So I'm going to hit replace all. And it replaced all of those occurrences of peanut butter with chocolate fudge. So now I'm just going to close this box. And the next step says make sure to capitalize chocolate fudge properly in the title of the recipe. So I'm going to go up here, and sure enough, chocolate and fudge are not capitalized, so I'm just going to change the C and the F there. All right, so those are now capitalized the way they should in the title only. It doesn't need to be capitalized throughout the rest. And then in step 6, it says to change the font of the title to Chewy. That's a font name, but leave the size the same. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to go to the font, and I'm going to choose a Chewy. Now it's up here because I've already kind of practiced with this, but you'll need to scroll through your list, and it'll be alphabetical and Chewy. So it's kind of a little bit of a different font there. In step 7, it says change the font of the rest of the document to Century Gothic and the size to 13. So I'm going to leave Chocolate Brownies that size, but I'm going to select the rest of my document, and I'm going to change it to Gothic, Century Gothic. So I scroll through here to Century, and again, you'll see it up here on mine because I use that font a lot. But in your list, you'll need to scroll down until you see it. There it is, Century Gothic. So you can see that is slightly different. And then it also says in step 7 to change the size to 13. When I come here, 13 is not there, so I'm just going to need to type a 1-3 there and hit enter. So you'll see that it did alter the size of the document, right? Okay, so now I'm ready for step 8. It says to delete the word count line that you added in the previous lesson. It says it will not be part of this assignment. In its place, you will be adding the following text. This recipe was lovingly altered by, insert your full name here, period. We don't need the parenthesis, so we're going to actually be typing, this recipe was lovingly altered by Keith Hawkins in my case. You'll put your name there. If the text is still bold and underlined, it says you should select it and click on the clear formatting button. To get the clear formatting button, you may need to click on the More menu. So let's take it one step at a time. First of all, it says to delete the word count line. So I'm going to click here, select that, and I'm going to delete it. And it says it will not be part of this assignment. In its place, you're going to type the following text. This recipe was lovingly altered by Heath Hawkins, period. So I typed it, but it says there, if the text is still bold and underlined, you should select it and click the clear formatting button. So I'm going to do that, select that text, and I'm going to find the clear formatting button. I don't see it. Now, it is here under format. You can go there and do it, or you can go to the More button, and this is the clear formatting button as well. So I've done that. So I took off all of that formatting. Then in step 9, it says center and italicize the line that you just added. So I'm going to choose the center align here, and I'm going to italicize it. So it looks a little different from the rest of the document. That's okay. Now on step 10, it says to insert an image. It says to hit enter. It says to hit enter. It's to hit enter so that you will be one line below the text. Now, right now, if I hit enter, this is going to erase. So I want to be careful. I'm going to click at the end there and hit enter. Okay, so I am one line below that text. It says hit enter so that you're one line below that text in step 10. And so I've done that. Remember, don't hit enter with this highlighted. Okay, click at the end of the line before you hit enter. And then it says click the insert menu and choose image. And it says search the web. So this comes up and it says search for chocolate brownies and find an image that you think looks yummy and would be appropriate for this recipe. It should be similar to the image below. So I'm going to type right here, chocolate brownies. Oh, there's the actual image that I selected for the sample there. So it says when you find it, this is step 11, when you find an image, you should double click on the picture to insert it into your recipe. So I'm going to double click. Takes it a minute. Oh, there it comes. And it looks yummy, doesn't it? But it also is way too big. And in step 12, it says now resize the image so that the entire recipe fits on one page. Make sure the picture is center aligned. Remember, when we resize a picture, we don't ever grab from the sides or the top or bottom. We always go from a corner. So I'm going to go from the bottom corner. I'm just going to make it smaller. Oh, that still didn't fit. Now, honestly, notice here, we could probably crop part of this out, but I'm just going to keep making it a little smaller. See how small it has to be to fit on there. Still not fitting on one page. Oh, there it goes. So now it fit on one page, and I think that's perfect. It just has a little picture of the brownie down at the bottom. In step 13, it says to proofread the entire document looking for spelling and grammar errors. So I'm just going to go back and look. And again, I don't see anything that stands out to me. There's nothing underlined. If you see any underlines or anything like that, you'll want to check it. Make sure, like after punctuation marks, like commas, that you have a space. If there's a period. Okay, so looking for spelling errors, don't see any. So then now step 14 says to turn your assignment in on Google Classroom.